On April 2, 1982, Argentina launched the invasion of the islands. But this was not just a military move. It was an economic gamble. The United Kingdom responded by sending an expeditionary force more than 8,000 miles across the Atlantic. That decision required billions of dollars in logistics, fuel, naval power, and defense spending. It became Britain's first major overseas military operation since the Second World War, and one of the most expensive political decisions of the decade. The war was not measured only in lives lost. It also meant the large-scale destruction of military equipment. For the United Kingdom, replacing what was lost came at an enormous financial cost. Two Type 42 destroyers were sunk, representing roughly $450 million. Two frigates were also lost, at an estimated cost of $288 million. 8 Sea Harrier aircraft were destroyed, worth approximately $76 million, and 11 helicopters were lost, adding another $41 million to the total bill. These figures represent only the replacement costs. They do not include fuel consumption, ammunition, transportation, or the massive logistical effort required to sustain the campaign. Several estimates suggest that Britain's total war budget exceeded between $1.8 and $3 billion. On the Argentine side, the losses were also severe. Dozens of aircraft and naval assets were destroyed. One of the most significant losses was the sinking of the cruiser ARA General Belgrano. That single event accounted for 323 deaths, nearly half of Argentina's total casualties during the conflict. The direct costs of the war were estimated at between $400 and $500 million. Beyond the battlefield, the conflict triggered long-term economic consequences. Rising external debt, recession, and a deep macroeconomic crisis followed. Yet monetary figures alone fail to capture the human cost. Hundreds of young conscripts were sent to fight, many of them barely 18 years old. In total, the war resulted in approximately 649 Argentine military deaths and 255 British fatalities. More than 11,400 Argentine prisoners were taken by British forces. In Argentina, many of those who died were young conscripts who had not chosen to be there. The Navy suffered the highest number of losses. The defeat quickly turned into a political catastrophe. The military government that ordered the invasion collapsed, brought down by military humiliation and a deep internal crisis. Beyond pride, sovereignty, and flags, this war made one thing clear. Young lives were lost, resources were destroyed, debt became unsustainable, and an entire country was dragged into crisis. For Great Britain, victory provided a political boost. The war strengthened domestic support and legitimized the leadership of the then Prime Minister. For Argentina, defeat marked the end of the military dictatorship, and a price paid by millions, not just by those who made the decisions. This is not a story of glorious heroes. It is a story of decisions made by a few and paid for by many. If this video made you rethink the true cost of war, consider subscribing to receive more stories where power, money, and conflict intersect.